Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. Today it's just Paul and I, and we decided we're just going to talk a little bit about entertainment in general, what's going on, what's happening in the news, and some stories that we thought we'd bring up. A little bit of popcorn movie challenge.
Challenge?
Well, it's a challenge to talk about some of these things. Let's find out. Yeah, let's just talk about it right after this. All right, what do you got? What do you want to talk about?
So lately, I've been watching 24.
Okay.
And if you don't know what that is, that was, I think, back in the mid-2000s. Kiefer Sutherland had this, he's like part of this anti-terrorist unit. Mm-hmm. And you have that Allstate insurance guy, he's the president, and...
Alicia Cuthbert?
Alicia Cuthbert, yeah. And she was what? She was like a really top model for a long time. Like she became like the sexiest woman in the world kind of thing.
Well, she started off being this little girl, and then all of a sudden she did Old School. She did the movie Old School, and everyone else, she's grown up. She's a very grown-up woman at that point.
So we recently did a video where I gave my top 10 TV shows of all time in order. I have to put this on the list.
What do you knock off, though?
Well, I have to knock off, wherever I put it, I have to knock off my number 10, which I think was Boston Legal /
Oh, you can't knock off Boston Legal.
The Blacklist. But 24 is just such an awesome show. And what I'm looking at it, and it's 24 episodes. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now we're lucky if we get 10 episodes in a season for the new shows coming out. And each episode is full of such good acting and drama and intensity. And I'm not getting that with the new shows. Like, the best show that we've seen in a couple of years, series-wise, with the most excitement, was The Mandalorian. And this is 8,000 times better than that show in all aspects.
See, well, the trouble is with the newer shows, it's all built for streaming services, and it's meant for 10-week implements. And that's what they give you.
But that's no excuse to not have good intensity, good acting, good storylines.
It's a cheaper budget, and they definitely, they're less about story and more about quick episodes to progress a story, as opposed to telling a story every episode.
See, what 24 is doing, it's actually making me feel things and be interested in what's going to happen next. Whereas now it's just, the stories are about this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, and you're just going along for the ride. There's no feeling or intensity or suspense. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, watch 24. It's on Prime Canada, if you have that service. I don't know where else you can find it, but it's great.
Okay. You know what I'm kind of excited about? Yesterday or this week, depending on when you see this video, movie theaters finally reopened here in Ottawa. And starting very shortly, we have a couple actual movies that I would want to see on the big screen again. We got Raya and the Last Dragon. We have King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus Kong. Those are movies I was not looking forward to watching on my
your little big TV.
My little 70-inch TV in my living room. Or my 60-inch TV in my bedroom this far from my bed. But these are things meant for surround sound and the big theater experience.
And going out
of the house.
It's an event kind of thing.
And we're allowed to eat popcorn. Imagine that. They said we're allowed to eat in Ontario. You can actually buy popcorn and eat popcorn in the theater. Not allowed to do it in Quebec yet. And you're not allowed to stay open past 7 o'clock in Quebec. So the theater said, well, I guess we're not opening, and they're not opening there.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, so, but Ottawa, excited to see it. And I think it starts next Thursday to Friday. We're going to be able to see Raya and the Last Dragon.
Along those lines, kind of, this whole last year has changed the things that we get to watch, our entertainment, right?
Yes.
And yes, the streaming movies that we get are kind of a lot less grandiose than what we're used to in the theaters. But one of the positives about that is we get to watch movies that are more intimate. smaller in scope. It's not this great big $300 million sequel to something or franchise movie, because what, for a decade all we had was Avengers movies and Star Wars movies, these big blockbuster things. And now we get to watch things like Palm Springs.
Yeah, but we've always been able to watch those.
But we weren't interested.
We would not
right?
go to the theater to see Palm Springs.
No, we wouldn't. But we did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this has been like some good medicine for appreciating films that are not the big blockbuster things.
Yeah. However, I don't want them to only start scaling everything down. I want those blockbusters.
Yeah, but now it's great that we've been reacquainted with the smaller movies and that they could be as good.
Well, I wouldn't say as good. I would say they're fun, they're entertaining. But if you think back on best movies of the year, if in a normal year you're not thinking Palm Springs, you're not thinking the Ridiculous Six, you're not thinking of made for streaming service movies. You're thinking Avengers Endgame, you're thinking Alita Battle Angel, you're thinking Star Wars.
But how much of
all those.
that? How much of that is just top of mind because of the hype and the publicity? Like Love and Monsters. We streamed that, and it was not the big blockbuster movie, and it was one of my favorite movies of like the last couple of years.
Yeah, but in its scope, it was kind of made for a TV audience, right? Would it have played well in the theaters as much, or are we just happy to finally get something we liked on TV?
I don't know.
You might have to look at that, right? Because there's a lot of bad
in normal
out
times.
there.
I might have missed that movie. I might have skipped right over it, and I'm glad I didn't skip over it.
Yeah. However, how many movies have we tried to start watching that came out and were just,
Yeah, well, yeah,
You know.
yeah, like Outside the Wire kind of thing.
yeah, like had such potential, but I don't think because the backing behind it, the financial backing behind it, or the film quality, it's not filmed for film. It's not filmed in film. It's filmed for TV. And it makes a difference. It really does. Like, I notice movies more than I notice series. Series I can get by. Like the Marvel series and the Star Wars series, I can get by watching on a TV. But boy, some of those movies that are action movies and big explosions and all that, I miss not seeing on the screen. The big screen, for sure. And that, but
What else you get?
they're rebooting Superman.
I saw that.
Yeah. It looks like Cavill's out again. I liked Henry Cavill in the Superman role.
Yeah, I don't think he was given a lot to work with,
No.
but I think he is good for the part.
Yeah, I actually like I liked him in other movies. I liked him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I've liked him in other roles. I think he's a half decent actor, and I'm build wise and everything, the looks, Superman. I believed him. Never really written correctly, the character, too much. And now they're just going to reboot it. And I don't even know if I'm interested in it at all.
The rumor is that they're going to cast Michael B. Jordan. Now, I'm not... Is that the guy from Fantastic Four?
Mhm.
The new Fantastic... Okay.
And Black Panther, the villain.
Okay. So he's a really good actor.
Yes.
But there's going to be a lot of questions as, wait a second, why are you casting a black Superman? That's not what we're used to. Superman is Superman. Why are you changing it? Is this one of those woke things that you're doing? And I heard, like, that's how I was feeling, you know. But then I heard that Michael B. Jordan didn't want to be the black Superman, and so he's going to be another character. He's not Clark Kent. He's Kal Ellis or something, and there's something in the lore where this other character in the Superman lore is actually black. So it's not the Superman that you're used to, it's a multiverse kind of idea. So
Probably from
we'll see where it goes with that.
the Flash paradox kind of Flashpoint kind of thing, where they change things that happened.
I don't know. Like
the
I don't
DC
know.
universe?
I don't know if this lore predates that or
I don't know. One thing is, I think J.J. Abrams is signed on for it.
that's what I saw.
J.J. Abrams just did Star Wars. Wasn't impressed at all.
He's a hit and miss kind of guy.
He's been more miss lately than hit. He's a great. Oh, here's a story that you have, and here's what Star Trek did and all that. I'm just going to change a couple things, but I'm going to tell the exact same story.
Yeah.
You look at Star Trek reboots, and then the Star Wars, it just... grant you, he wasn't left with a lot after after the catastrophe that was The Last Jedi. But still,
But The Force Awakens was trash in my opinion too. So,
but it had at least a building block possibility. But the third one was utter trash. Like, the story made no sense. It just would, here's some action scenes, and what did Marvel do? On your left, Cap. On your left. Let's do the exact same thing in Star Wars. I mean, take the take the Marvel script, and he scratched it off, and he put Star Wars there for that ending. Like, I'm not impressed with his vision of things lately. I want to see him write something new, and don't rip off the old. And he's been doing that lately. So, is this now going to be the exact same original Superman story, except now it's going to be a black character, and he's going to, or is he?
I think they're staying away from that.
I hope so.
And they're making it a new character, but somehow he's got the S on it.
Because if it's just a race swap thing, it's going to fail.
Yeah, miserably.
It will fail miserably because it will please nobody. It will not please anybody looking for more representation, because it's just tokenism. Mm-hmm. And it will not please the fans of Superman.
I think they're going to be very careful, because Michael B. Jordan knows that this could end his career, because so many people are going to be against just a simple race flip, that it would be disastrous. And I don't think he wants to get into that mess.
I hope not. And because even people were talking about, when he did Creed, it's just a Rocky ripoff. And it wasn't. It was his own story. It was Apollo Creed's son's story. I was okay with all this, and it was a good movies. So I hope they stay away from the clickbait stuff and the social justice stuff. Write a good story, and I hope it's not J.J. Abrams writing. I hope they bring in other writers to do it.
One thing we didn't do a show on, because it's been out for a long time, but Lock and Key. If you liked Stranger Things, and a lot of people did, it was like the hit show for a few years. But if you like Stranger Things, Lock and Key was along the same lines, where there's a bunch of kids, although they're a little bit older than the Stranger Things kids, and it's not set in the 80s. It's just modern day kind of thing. They come into a supernatural situation, and they can't tell the adults kind of thing. It's a good Stranger Things-esque series that's been out for about a year or two. I would highly recommend that if you're into it.
Okay. I haven't watched a single episode.
Oh, it was pretty good.
So I have no idea on that one. I'll take your word for it. Last topic.
Okay.
I've noticed a difference in some new TV shows. Like, not necessarily brand new this year, like the third, fourth seasons, whatever it is. But a lot of them took the pandemic into their episodes. So I'm watching a show about lawyers, and they're wearing the mask, and they're taking it off, and then they put it back on, and it annoys me. I can't see their faces. I don't, everybody looks the same, and it reminds me how bad the world is.
Instead of having the escapism, you're brought right back into it.
You're right back into it. And then I just watched a new episode of Last Man Standing, and they were talking about how everyone how they just got over the pandemic, and a lot of people had lost their jobs, and a lot of businesses went under, and they're talking about closing down the restaurant portion of their business, and he has to let his daughter go and other employees, and he's talking about that. But they aimed it at the pandemic being over already. So they're not wearing masks, they're not social distancing, they're not reminding us of our daily troubles, and we get enough of that in the news.
Is that the Tim Allen Show?
That's the Tim Allen Show.
Oh, I didn't know they brought that back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he went to keeps going to new episodes, a new series, depending on the political correctness of the place they're going to. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the episode because it wasn't reminding me all the time of how bad things are. Right? If I'm watching this guy did this and he's suspected of murder and we're trying to get him off murder, yet all I can think of is, oh look, there's the mask. I'm watching somebody wearing a mask. I don't need to live that on my fantasy world of television.
Yep, agreed.
I mean, can you imagine we turn on Sesame Street right now and then, Today's word is mask. Come on, kids. Let's all go for our vaccination. It's Sesame Street, right? We don't want to see that. We want to see Sesame Street. So please, TV shows, we understand you want to represent the world, but you can live a little bit of fantasy for us and don't remind us every day about how bad things are. That's why we have CNN and Fox. They're quite capable of telling how bad the world is.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what's in the news. How are you guys? Is there any stories out there you guys would like us to comment on or talk about our opinions on? We have some very firm opinions, but I think they're very fair opinions, to be honest. Like, I'm a very opinionated person, but I don't think I'm alt-left or alt-right. I'm usually smack dab in the middle in our decisions. But hey, I wear my mask. I don't need to watch people on TV wearing the mask. Welcome to my fantasy, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you on the channel.